Hello and welcome to another edition of the Dugout Podcast. I'm your co-host Andrew, alongside my fellow co-host Marissa, and we are back again. So we found some consistency after a long layoff.
Wow. So 2 weeks is consistency.
Well,
Say,
putting a run together.
we shall see now then.
Oh Lord,
2 league wins on the boat.
let's not go there. Okay, so yes, we're back
gosh.
and we have we're gonna try to pick up where we left off last week. I think that was the consensus.
Yeah.
That we're going to touch on things that we didn't have time to touch on last week tonight. So, VAR, refereeing decisions in the Premier League so far. I'll let Marissa touch on this one, and I'll just fill in where you miss out on or something.
I think you use the right word to kick off the show. Consistency. Consistency. Andrew, you are an English teacher for a reason. You know that?
I would like to think so.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
I would like to think so.
But yeah, I think that's my biggest issue with refereeing. Consistency. Like, one of the most frustrating things is that you play a game this weekend, you see a handball, it gets given a penalty. You don't gotta wait till next weekend to get a different decision. Sometimes in the very next game you watch, the same day, same incident, or it can't be the same incident, but similar incident, nothing is given. Same thing with red and yellow cards. The consistency is not there. It's hard to know nowadays in terms of tackling. What is a good tackle? What's a bad tackle? Like, it's like players are not allowed to win balls anymore. Yes, we know the unwritten rule. You can't go through the man to get the ball.
Right.
But there's certain instances where, like, you do a tackle, you win the ball. I've seen instances where I think it happened in the Curtis Jones red card, where you get the ball, but your foot slides over the ball, catches the man, whatever, red card. But is there no leeway for that? Is there no leeway to say, okay, he won the ball, what happened was unfortunate, it's not a red card offense? It's like, them is want to be hard and fast with certain things, and then not hard and fast with other things. It's like the consistency is off for me. And then let's not even get started on offsides. 1 minute I seeing lines, next minute I ain't seeing lines. People talking about check complete and not even confirming what was he calling. In fact, let me not even confirming what was he calling in first place. How are you supposed to be a video assistant refereeing a game and you are not even paying attention to the game? And my biggest issue, I don't want to go on too long of a rant. I'll leave that to you. But my biggest issue is, where is the accountability? You make a mistake in a job. You ain't get fired, but you'll be called in, you'll be reprimanded, you'll be disciplined. What happened is what we talked about just before we came on air. A little slap on the wrist, oh, you're not refereeing this week. And then you back in action again. I saw one of the referees in the Liverpool Spurs game. They're not allowed to referee any more Spurs Liverpool. No, not any Spurs Liverpool. Any Liverpool games for the rest of the season. I saw that. But so what? He's still allowed to be incompetent in another game. And as a football fan, it's distressing. Like, I don't care about Liverpool. I don't care about Arsenal. But when I see nonsense like last season, offside lines not being drawn in the Arsenal-Brentford game. This game, check complete. And the thing about it is, somebody brought it to their attention, the goal was onside. We need to call back play. And they're like, no, we can't. Nothing had happened. No advantage had been gained. It's like, I don't know what they're doing. And I think it's like, when you are in a situation where you can do as you like, you won't be held accountable, it almost enables the incompetence. And that is where I'm at with VAR. Like, I look at refereeing in the Champions League. I'm not a fan of refereeing, period. But what I like about refereeing in Champions League is that at least it's consistent. Like, that is my thing about it. So even if I might not agree with their handball rule,
Right.
I know that if a handball gets given in the Champions League match with Liverpool and Chelsea, I know the next game with Man City and Bayern Munich, it will be given as well. There's a more consistency. I also like the VAR technology, the offside technology they use is also pretty good.
Right.
It seems to be more advanced than the one in the Premier League. I hear that might be a money thing. I don't know. But my thing is the consistency. If you can get consistency in refereeing, I don't think there'll be as much fan outrage as there is. That's where I stand with it.
Fair enough. Where to start? All right, so like, first thing first, I personally believe that the handball rule has been overcomplicated.
Yes.
And I feel as though that's what the biggest issue with handball incidents is, and where you get such inconsistent results, because the way it's worded about the hand not being in a natural position and such a nonsense. I enjoyed the handball rule the way it was when I began watching this sport as a young child, which was that it should be deemed deliberate if it's deemed deliberate.
Right.
And I feel as though that provided, even though mistakes were made even back then, but I feel as though that gave us a bit more of a scope for black and white approach to that particular rule.
I agree.
So I'm a bit sympathetic on the simple fact that if you're going to judge if someone's hand is in a natural position and blah, 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 then that's something that could be subjective.
It is.
It really is, right? Exactly.
Because you're playing a sport that is movement oriented. What do you deem to be a natural position? To me, unnatural is this. Like, and we've seen people when they're jumping the hand, that's not natural.
Right.
But if you're jumping and your hand is in a natural motion of jumping, or you're sliding and your hand, like, it's like they don't know how to get that right.
Correct.
And like you say, it overcomplicates it. So then Mike Dean may have an interpretation this week. Howard Webb may have another one next week. And that's the problem.
Correct.
So keep it simple.
Yeah. And that's the thing, because like even there's some incidents where, for example, see defenders as they go to defend, close on ball, their hands behind their back.
Yeah.
Which is just stupid. And unnatural, if anything. So I have a bit of sympathy for the referees in that regard, in the sense that I feel as long as that continues, we'll always have this debate about whether or not, because it's almost, when you leave it so open to subjectivity, it's almost very, very difficult to get a consistent, lane of approach or results where everybody sees everything the same way.
100%.
Because that just won't happen. That's number one. In terms of the offside, that should be black and white. Really should, because it's either you're onside or you're off. I guess what was disappointing was the fact that, it's clear that the VAR official wasn't absolutely focused on events, and he didn't pick up that the on-field decision was actually offside as opposed to onside.
But my question is what he was doing. What you could possibly be doing behind there that you know what's going on.
He may have been making a cup of tea. We don't know. But honestly, right, he's not the only official in the VAR box as well. There are about 2 or 3 other VAR assistants as well.
None of them knew.
Exactly. It is staggering. And those are things that I think cause the most embarrassment. To me, handball is something where I'm willing to almost concede, or some you will get, some you won't.
Right.
When it comes to offside, when it comes to penalty calls, like when it's tackling the box, for example, and they deem, it's not a clear, obvious error. I don't know. Again, unless they're saying it's about subjectivity. Exactly, quite error is an error. So unless they tell me it's down to subjectivity, whether or not I believe is actually a mistake, reword that rule for me. But I think an error is an error, and if you think there's some measure of doubt, draw it to referee's attention, let him go and look at the monitor and check.
It's like think of it in school terms. There's no gray area in math sums. It either right or wrong. Start with the clear and obvious crap. Was it a penalty? Yes or no? It's not that hard. Yeah. And like I've always said, it so reminds me of when DRS came into cricket, where they tried to make all these complicated crap And it was just about protecting the umpires, making sure that the umpires on the field don't look too bad. And that's what it is now, because you hear them actually coming out talking about, oh, I didn't want to put my mate in the spotlight. I didn't want to send my mate over to the monitor because he may have, it's not about the game anymore. It's about them. And that's the problem.
Another thing as well, that, and this was some kind of rich coming from me. Because I would have been like on the receiving end of a bad decision, obviously.
Yeah.
But the point you made about nothing has happened, we should have gone back and restart the game. I'm not saying that shouldn't have happened. But what I'm saying is that I kind of, again, sympathize with them. For the simple fact that that's not precedent. I think law states that if the game restarts, it can't go back. Right? So, I mean, like, if you're going to do that, and I don't get me wrong, if you made a mistake and you're willing to do that and correct it, fair play. But that's going to take a certain level of gumption for somebody to do it actually. There's no precedent for it. And I guess what they were saying in the moment is that we can't break the laws of the game, so to speak, to go back and restart the game as a goal to Liverpool, because the game had already kicked off again, regardless of how much seconds had elapsed.
All right, let me ask you a question. Hasn't there been instances where kickoffs have been retaken? Like, let's say somebody kick a ball and the referee maybe wasn't quite ready, or I'm more sure I have seen it happen.
Yeah. If the referee ain't quite ready, but the referee hasn't blown the whistle.
Okay,
so indicate the game resumes.
But it get kick off and they kick it over because, for whatever
the
reason.
referee didn't blow the whistle, or the ball's rolling, then it comes back. So unless the referee sees, for example, when I'm pretty sure the Spurs guys were deliberate in making sure the ball was not rolling when they kick the free kick. So,
but that's what I said earlier. Is like they want to stick to the letter of the law in some instances, and then not. Like you say, it takes gumption. It just takes common sense for me. Because that was a critical. Y'all were down to 10 men at that point already, 10, right. And Spurs hadn't scored yet.
No,
that was a critical.
First scored like 2 minutes after.
That was a critical point in the game.
It's a critical point in the game, yes. But what I'm saying is that why you use the word gumption is because that technically would be breaking the laws of the game. To after the game has been restarted, to take it back, and World Liverpool to go. But
would anyone have had a problem with that?
Okay. Check something. I don't think. As much as we would commend it and be like, oh, we got the right decision in the end and that's what it should have been. I feel as though definitely people got a problem with it because the law is law. You know what I mean? It's always be a tricky thing where you say, well, I had a right to break the law. You know what I mean? And you don't know if that's really flaky.
I get it, but
so I feel like that would be a difficult position to be in.
The law is in place for a reason.
Correct.
I don't think the law is in place for a situation like this will not have been considered when the law was created.
Correct.
So therefore, there has to be some
modification.
Yes, there's the law, but this is an unprecedented situation.
Right.
We made an error. Yes, the law says you can't, but this is a critical moment. This is a goal for a team that is away from home, down to 10 men. Critical juncture in the game. We need to fix this error. Not come out. How long it was after you sent me the foolish picture? 5 minutes after the game. Oh, the PGMOL recognizes that a severe error was made. I'm tired of that nonsense.
Like, I get that you're tired, but I sent him that he said like it's an unprecedented moment. So like I don't know. That way it's a gumption. Who actually, as much as somebody may be willing to do it, to actually do it. Gonna be and it's a matter of split seconds, to be honest. I don't know. I mean, I think I took it on your chin rather, is what it is. In terms of the other decisions, okay, this is my thing. I have more of a problem with, for example, how they judge or how they handle serious foul play and whether or not a red card, a card should be upgraded to a red card, for example, because I feel as though it's unfair to play the thing back in slow motion the first time the referee sees it, or as soon as he walks across the monitor, he sees the image of the guy stamping on someone's ankle.
That is my biggest problem. The slow motion is a problem, but that whole freeze frame nonsense.
Yeah.
Obviously, you pause something at a point of impact. It looks awful.
It's gonna look worse.
And you don't have the context surrounding that freeze frame,
Right.
And I heard the audio for the Gusto red card. And it was like, he was telling the whoever, pause it right there. And you literally have a freeze frame of Gusto's foot going into my ankle, and it looks bad without having the context of the tackle.
That's the thing, because the funny thing I said to you before, the funny thing is that when you judge an incident or tackling football and you judge it based on the outcome only,
Yeah.
it's also gonna look worse because
Yeah.
it's a contact sport. They're playing a game at a high octane level or pace or whatever the case would be. It's gonna look worse if you just judge it on the outcome.
Yeah.
The referee only feel when he saw it to have to give a card in the first instance.
Exactly.
He's the one who's, for example, going to have more of a feel of the game. So I feel as though the first image that he saw, the first replay that he sees should be a normal speed replay. And then if he wants to slow it down so that he can look at everything, but to just give him a freeze frame is a little bit unfair to the guy who made the tackle.
Yeah, and I think the point you made about showing it in real time, but from a different angle that he was standing at, so you could see, what he knows the angle he saw it at. Maybe see it from a different angle to see if his viewpoint changed. But the whole and the slow motions be extra slow, and then the freeze frame, like we say, it just makes it worse. So, like I said, it's just an issue that I have with these referees.
But just one final thing, because for me, I'll go first and I'll turn it over to you. In terms of VAR and how I feel about VAR, because it's been a Gusto red card, it's been Curtis Jones red card, which could be deemed harsh,
and there've been a few others as well this season. None coming to mind right now, but I know there've been a few.
There was the Onana challenge on the Wolves player in the box. That should have been a penalty. There've been a plethora, incidents where you could argue that the referee decision or the VAR assistants or whoever got the decision, wrong. And I've heard in recent weeks people saying, I hate VAR because I feel as though we speak about VAR more than we speak about the actual game. That's rubbish, because before VAR came into play, we had conversations about the game a lot. About the game a lot, but we also had a lot of conversations about
the referee
decisions. So I think it's the same. The issue to me is not VAR technology, it's there. The technology is efficient. I think it's efficient.
And we've seen it work.
Exactly. I think the
problem
thing
is
that the personnel, the people who are
100%.
implementing VAR are the ones who are coming up short and have deficiencies.
100%.
So my thing is, I think you need to keep VAR. I think you need to either improve the way in which the referees are trained, how to use it, or improve their knowledge of the game. Something.
I agree.
Because I don't expect, because some things will be subjective. That's just the nature of it. I don't expect to get 100% of decisions right.
Of course not,
I
because you're
definitely
dealing
feel
with
as
humans.
though the percentage of errors that are being made should definitely dwindle and diminish.
Exactly, but it's almost as if they've increased. It
Or
feels
been the
that
same.
way.
So it just kind of demonstrates that the referees in the EPL, the one that they would like us to believe is the best league in the world, it just shows that the referees,
Best
the level
league.
of official, is at a very, very poor standard.
Best league with the worst referees, honestly. It is shambolic, but I don't know. My concern is that despite all the outrage and all that's being said, Premier League weekend coming up this weekend, you can probably see like 5 dodgy decisions. And like you say, is the personnel, and there's no accountability. There's no it's okay to say you've messed up, but what are you going to do about it? That's what people want to know. That's what people want to hear. So we'll see. We will see. So to conclude our football segment, football is back. And that means leaderboard is back. Now, Andrew would have won by a very slender margin in season 1.
Before we go any further about leaderboard being back, I must interject.
About what?
Because, ladies and gentlemen, I want to go on record that I feel that I'm seriously considering not betting you again, not gambling. I mean, we could have a leaderboard, but there'll be no prizes, there'll be no rewards, there's no incentives. You want to know why? Just bargain rates. Because I still have not gotten my treat, my dinner, whatever Marissa was supposed to pay. She has not paid. She's not a woman of her word.
Honestly, right? This is the first time since we did the leaderboard that I was reminded about that.
I had to remind you?
Yes.
But
remember?
But if it was you that had been, you didn't have to remind me.
I would have reminded you though.
You didn't have to though. I would have tell you exactly where we're going and when.
All right. What you want as your
I
prize?
No. I tell you what I want. You support my friend, right? You will think of something that you think is appropriate, right? And mind you, this should have been something that should have happened over the course of the summer, not no. So
You had a busy summer.
But I don't want you to. I did, but I don't want you to have to roll 2 rewards into one, because it's not like you're gonna win this time. You know what I mean? Just saying.
Anyways,
Just saying.
are we keeping the same format? Are we keeping the 1 point for a win and then you get the 2 bonus points if you get your scoreline correct, or you want to do this just straight out win or whatever?
No, I think you should get, should put some odds on.
Yeah, because
make it a little bit more difficult.
that's the only reason you win last time,
Oh, really?
Well, you want to keep it. Anyways, I did not.
Wait, sorry, you want to make a change?
Not necessarily. I was just throwing it out there.
Okay.
I like the idea of getting a score. I mean, to me, football is so unpredictable. It's very rare you could get a scoreline, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we managed to do it a few times last season, so we could continue. So I didn't even know that this game was on this weekend. Not that it's a really... I mean, one time Merseyside derbies used to be, but nowadays it just feel like a foregone conclusion. But first game out to the hatches,
I wish I could
Liverpool.
roll my eyes.
Well, you can't roll your eyes?
Don't worry about that. Keep going.
You can't roll your eyes for real?
I don't think it's look good. So
Let me see.
No.
Why want to see though?
Marissa, you're becoming distracted. Stick to the,
I need to see that though.
Stick to the fixture.
I mean, I've known you for how many years? I did not know you can't roll your eyes. That is interesting. Anyways, Liverpool versus Everton, early Saturday morning kickoff. I'll let you go first as the winner of the last leaderboard.
Well, I go at Liverpool win.
I say he hoped.
Just so that Klopp don't quarrel about the fact that we playing the early kickoff after the international break. Exactly.
He hates that.
But I saw a stat that we actually over the last 4 years we've had the most early fixtures after the international break. And it's a huge margin. So I think they said it on Talk Sport. If Liverpool have had 17, the next team that has had like 6 or 7. So I guess call it what you want to call it.
Who knew Kloppy actually had a point?
So 3-0. I'll go 3-0. I'll go big to start.
Just 3.
Yeah, just 3.
Just 3.
Yeah.
I don't want to go the same as you, but I'll go 3 as well.
To Liverpool, right?
Yeah.
Just making it clear.
Some age.
To Liverpool.
I was actually tempted to go 4, but I'll stick to 3. Maybe I should go 4. I'll stick to 3. 3-0 Liverpool. All right. The next game of interest is Man City Brighton. Man City coming off. This is probably one of the worst games they could have coming off of back-to-back defeats. So I'll go first. I think simply because Brighton have scored a lot, but have conceded a lot this season as well. Probably back Brighton to score at least 1, and I expect Man City to bounce back. So I think I'll go 3-1 City.
Okay.
Taking her about this one.
Yeah, because I'll go 4-2 City. I think it'll be quite an open game. And I think the one thing that I think Brighton and City have in common is that both teams don't stop playing.
It's true.
So I think that Brighton will keep on playing regardless.
Fair enough. Newcastle Crystal. Good games on Saturday. Newcastle Crystal Palace.
Ooh, yes.
That's you.
I'll go with 2-1 win to Newcastle.
Same here. Palace aren't playing badly, but they can't really score goals. Yeah, that's their problem. And I think Newcastle have been okay, so I think they'll win at home.
Wait, you going to the London game next?
Yeah, that's the next game.
I was gonna go Forest and Luton.
You want to predict Forest and Luton?
I'm just joking, man. Just joking.
Because no.
Apart from the fact that I stay in Luton, I don't have any interest in Luton primarily. But
Luton
is a very, very nice town, though.
Don't drink every time Andrew must mention he went to England this summer. In a sly, subtle way. Next week,
Wait. I have to shout out Luton. Luton took very good care of me.
Great.
Anyway, continue.
Shout out to Luton.
Right.
Anyways,
I need to shout out West Ham as well, dude. They did
I
very,
knew that was coming.
They took very good care of me.
Look, I am literally sitting on here and saying, watch this man bring up West Ham.
They showed me great hospitality, I must say. United. All right, continue. Apologies.
We're friends like you, boy.
I apologize.
I never got to finish that sentence. Anyways, Chelsea at home to Arsenal. Whoa, why do I have to go first on this prediction?
I will go first if you don't want to.
No, I could face the music.
Okay.
Oh gosh. Go with my head or go with my heart? My head is saying this has a draw written all over it.
Mm-hmm.
I think Chelsea have not been bad defensively this season at all. Probably, I think, second best defense or third best defense in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Problem is always scoring goals. I don't know about the status of Saka, but Arsenal can cope without Saka in most games, I think. But riding high after the 1-0 win against City. My heart says that Chelsea can do it. But I'm going to go with my head and go 1-1.
Okay.
But my heart is saying 2-1 Chelsea. But I'll go with my head. 1-1.
I think it should.
1-1.
I think you should go with your head for true.
Yeah, 1-1.
I'm going to go 2-0 Arsenal. I just think Arsenal will score. I think Arsenal have a bit...
That hurts me.
What's the word? I think Arsenal have the momentum.
Mm-hmm.
I think they have
We got momentum
the confidence as well.
We got confidence too. It hurt me that
Who the last 2 games were against?
Burnley and Fulham.
Was it Fulham?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
And then Brighton in between there.
Right. But I just think that Arsenal will come with a huge amount of belief. Now, don't get me wrong. If you were to, get a result, then great. Put a little bit of cold water on Arsenal parade. But I think Arsenal will have too much.
Honestly, it really hurts me that you don't think we'll score at home, but also it won't be surprising if we don't either.
I think, because it's not, I don't think you guys will score at home. I just feel as though if Arsenal gets the first goal, I feel as then it would just be a case of Arsenal get second and then just shut it down. And y'all won't be able to get back into it necessarily.
We see. I'm not pleased that this game is... Actually, I could probably still watch it. I'll probably watch it at work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sheffield United versus Manchester United.
Mm-hmm.
That's you.
That's me.
Mm-hmm. This game very late on Saturday?
Yeah. Sometimes Saturdays have a very late kickoff.
Okay.
I noticed that last season.
I'll probably miss this first half if I watch it at all.
I can watch it just in the event that Man U do foolishness.
Unlikely.
But yeah, I will go with 2-1 Man United win. I won't say 1-0, but I feel like Sheffield might get a goal.
Nah,
so I'll go 2-1 Man United.
I'll go 2-0 Man U. Yeah, I don't think Sheffield gonna score.
Why not? They scored 2 at home. Well, no, it was 1 or 2 at home to Tottenham. I think 1. Because remember Tottenham came back at stoppage time and 1.
Yeah, it was 1.
Okay.
And then I think I saw them when they played Forest. They just don't look like a team that's gonna really... If they do score, probably won't score more than 1. But even scoring 1... But then again, it is Man United. Man United...
But some of his Man U is the fact that when I'm not playing well.
True.
And letting shots and goals that he should not be conceding at this point in time. So if that could continue on Saturday.
Fair.
And I think, and the fact there's a late kickoff as well, under the lights. I feel as though the atmosphere might be a little bit fairy.
True, that's a good point. But I still back him Man U to win 2-0.
Okay, I'll stick with 2-1.
Get the little lucky win against Brentford.
Oh Lord.
Anyways, Tottenham Fulham.
No, Sunday first. We got Villa and West Ham
on
Sunday.
Oh, we're predicting Villa and West Ham now?
We didn't mention them as European contenders, so I think it's only fair.
Villa West Ham, is that me?
Yeah.
Tough game. But I am inclined to say... Actually, my instincts are telling me 2-2, I was going to go with a Villa win, but something in my head telling me 2-2.
So you're sticking with 2-2?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go 1-1. I had a draw. That's my natural inclination to go for a draw. So I'll go 1-1.
Okay, cool. Tottenham Fulham.
It's me?
Yeah.
All right. I'll go 2-1 Tottenham.
I'll go 2-0.
I haven't seen Fulham for the season though, so I'm
I
just
have.
going for the derby.
Their general play is okay, but the problem is no
Goals.
Mitrovic, no goals. So that's why. If this was last season, I would have probably gone maybe for a draw. But I think they're struggling with goals right now.
Okay.
Yeah. So that brings us to the end of our football segment. So we'll take a quick break for a word from our sponsors. Whole Health Pharmacy, located in Jordan's Complex, Speightstown, St. Peter, carries a variety of products to take care of you and your health. Essential oils, muscle rubs, and the run-of-the-mill medications. And definitely don't forget your vitamins. Vinci sea salt, air humidifiers, tumblers, and women's havens pads too. We got it all for you. Don't forget your Barbados and natural Vinci snacks. So for sure you're gonna keep coming back. Ever hear about structured water? Well, tell your son, tell your daughter. Whole Health Pharmacy. More than a pharmacy, we take care of you and your health. All right, Andrew. World Cup action. It's been an interesting week of action since we have last spoke. Had some really interesting results. What has stood out the most for you in terms of the results over the last 7 days?
So there were. Okay, I'm not going to talk about today's result. I'll leave that for you. But the two results for me that were shockers was the manner in which South Africa beat Australia. So it was so one-sided.
Not me, but go ahead.
for
I'll
me it
touch
was.
on that.
And the other result that was a bit of a shock. I would say it's a bit of a shock because I think it could happen, but at the same time, it would go down in history as a World Cup shock.
World champions.
The defending champions
yeah.
England losing to Afghanistan yesterday. That was
Sunday.
My bad. Felt so recent. No, quite still fresh.
It is, it is very still fresh.
Yeah, I think those results would have been particularly shocking. For Australia, it did point out what you said about their batting being a cause for concern.
Definitely.
And maybe the biggest reason that they might struggle to get in that top four. And for England, where do I start? It just hasn't been a great start. They're really lacking conviction.
They are.
And although I still have respect for their talented lineup in terms of batting, because I know that the batters that they have, no target is necessarily out of their grasp.
Yeah.
It still worries me, and their bowling worries me. Because when I looked at the squad, I realized that they lack a genuine wicket taker in that lineup. And I think that might be a cause of concern. I also think the fact that we said that it's a very, very competitive tournament in the sense that a lot of teams
everybody could be everybody.
Exactly, everybody could be everybody. I think what it has shown is the fact that it's a particular cause for concern because it's not a case where, for example, the lesser teams like Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Afghanistan, Netherlands, it shows that they won't fear England either. It's like a case where everybody's going for it because everybody thinks that they have a genuine chance, which they do. So it means that England really need to, if England have been resting on their laurels and thinking that, we got this in the bag, because I do get a sense with England that there is a level of arrogance that comes with that cricket team and their media. And I feel sometimes they take things for granted, or they can. So, yeah, hopefully, well, if you're an English fan, hopefully,
which we're not,
it puts their eyes squarely back on the ball, and hopefully they get the head down and work hard and play better.
I think what fascinates me is England and Australia together would be a fantastic team. Australia's bowling is good, in my opinion. England's bowling is not. England's batting, even though it was the batting that really let them down against Afghanistan, England's batting is good, in my opinion. Australia's batting is not. And I think that that's the concern with those two sides. I remember I told you I didn't have Australia in my top 4 because I feel like while their bowling is good, you can still get at it, and their batting is not going to strike fear in most people, to be honest. If they don't get a good start, they will struggle. I thought against Sri Lanka that they won their first game yesterday against Sri Lanka. They were under pressure early and they managed to dig themselves out of it with both the bat and the ball. But I still feel like Australia have some holes, and I think, to be honest, Australia are in a better position than England. I'll be honest, because they've played India and South Africa and Sri Lanka, whereas England have played really only New Zealand or two tough sides. They've played Bangladesh, which we expect them to win, which is their only win, and then they played Afghanistan, which they lost. I just think that those two sides are going to find it very, very difficult. England showed me that they're going to struggle against India with their spin. They're going to struggle against Pakistan with their spin. And they're going to struggle against Sri Lanka with their spin. Their batting will struggle. And if their bowling does not fit up, their batting may, especially let's say the team bats first, like Afghanistan, they post a decent total, and then you could choke England with a spin. That's a way to get at England's batting attack. When England can go there and blast, no pressure, batting first and everything, that's when they're their best. But chasing, especially against quality spin, I think that they're gonna struggle. Same thing with Australia. The Australia South Africa result didn't shock me, especially since I watched the recent ODI series with them, and I saw South Africa pretty much has the measure of them, so that result wasn't really shocking to me.
But because it wasn't that South Africa beat them, is the manner, the distance, the convincing nature of the win.
It just wasn't for me. Like I said, Australia's batting for me, 300. I think South Africa scored 311 or something like that. That's not a tough total to chase. 300 is par for most sides now in ODI cricket. But for me, Australia's batting, like, you got Warner and Marsh at the top. Decent opening pair. But then Smith and Labuschagne at 3 and 4, very similar players. Yeah. It's not really going to strike fear in most teams. And then you have, in the game against South Africa, they had Cameron Green. They had Alex Carey in that game. No, they dropped Alex Carey after the first game. Yeah. So they had the new wicketkeeper batsman. They had Cameron Green. It just doesn't seem like a batting lineup. You know how you could look at England batting lineup and think, gosh, you got Joe Root, Jos Buttler, Harry Brook, Darren Milan, Johnny Bear. So any of them get at you, the game dead. Right. But you don't really get that vibe with Australia batting.
But but I'm a bit old fashioned with my thinking when it comes to cricket. Okay. In the sense that I get what you're saying about England's lineup, and I agree, because look at the names that you mentioned, for example. You can tell yourself, if any of those players get in, they can score at a rapid rate and take the game away from you or pull it back towards them. Right. That's fine. My worry with Australia, because I think Australia's approach will be that Warner, hopefully he gets off at the start. But I think they're looking for Marsh, Smith, or Labuschagne to start back 3 innings and stay at the crease for the 50 overs, and we can, compel a competitive total. So my worry with Australia, though, is that, because to me, I wouldn't say that any of the batsmen from Australia are in groundbreaking form right now. So the worry is that the guys that you will kind of lean on to prop up the innings are not producing on a consistent level right now. And in the case where we're fallible, either to not getting off a great start and having intervals when we lose regular wickets, which means that we're open to a capitulation. Yeah. And I think that's where Australia's batting lineup has their issues. Yeah. But
really, really well done to Afghanistan, though. I thought that they were brilliant. I watched the back half of their innings, because they started really, really well, had a huge collapse, and it fell at 190 for 6. I was thinking, if West Indies were 190 for 6, probably all out for 220. I thought they did really, really well to get to 280, and it felt, even though all the commentators talk about, England should probably chase this down relatively comfortably, I felt there was something in England's body language that looked worried. And I felt maybe because they felt they should have bowled them out earlier. Maybe they were worried about the 3 spinners, and they had every right to be, clearly. But there's something that told me that the game wasn't dead. And one thing you have to do with any cricket game, but especially England, take wickets regularly. And I heard New Zealand say that the key with them, you have to attack them. You have to take wickets regularly, because when you don't take wickets, it gives their fantastic batting lineup no pressure to just come in, blast the ball, but take wickets regularly, puts them under pressure. But well done to Afghanistan. Like we said last week, anybody could beat anybody. We saw that today. Stupid South Africa start a tournament well. Me put them in my top 4 again, like I did last year. And like last year again, they lose to the Netherlands. How do you do that? How do you lose the Netherlands in a T20 World Cup so shockingly, and then you come and do it in a one-day game? Shortened, but only shortened by 7 overs. I mean, like you said, they were like 80-something for 5 at one stage.
Yeah.
Their captain came in, played a brilliant knot to get them up to 240. That was fantastic. And then South Africa I think when I checked the score, at one point South Africa was 97 for 5. And I'm like...
They just batted poorly, probably.
Yeah, and I'm like, I mean, their lower order did well, which I think is smart that a lot of teams are doing. When they realize the game is done, they are trying to just hang in there for as long as possible to keep the net run rate in check. Right. So they did that. But I was really, really disappointed with South Africa because for me, this South Africa team have the best top six and one of the best bowling lineups in the competition. So I'm like, what want to do today? Because as I told you outside, if you had South Africa winning that game today, you would have had 3 teams, India, New Zealand, South Africa, on 6 points. And then you got teams like England and Australia who are struggling already 4 points behind you.
Correct.
So it makes it difficult. So now South Africa and again pull back into that. It's disappointing, man. I just hope that's their bad result out of the way. But oh man,
because it's not necessarily their bad result out of the way. It might be their bad result out of the way, but I feel as though there will be decisive games to come.
Oh gosh,
that's the problem because as I told you, there's something with South Africa that never convinces me, or maybe I learned my lesson.
Yeah, maybe
we've grown up with South Africa having a lot of talented squads, and sometimes you look at it on paper, you say to yourself, "Well, I think they have the best team."
Yeah.
And then they get a tournament, they start well, and then for whatever reason they just lose games that you wouldn't have expected them to lose.
Yeah.
And then when they do play their rivals for that spot, they can sometimes come unstuck.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's just a trend that seems to be
happening,
never ending. So,
and I think for me, what annoys me is you had the chance to put England under real pressure because their next game is England. So England going into that game 2 points, you going in with 6. Yeah. That's pressure on England. But no, England now have confidence that say, look, we could beat these. Both of we on 4 points. We back.
We just bounce back.
Yeah. So that game becomes huge on Saturday. Huge. But I think that these last 2 upsets, they won't be the only ones. I think Afghanistan will spring another surprise. And I also think Netherlands and Sri Lanka could probably spring another surprise too, because this is a Netherlands side that smashed West Indies for 374, and then how much it was 32 in the Super Over. So it's clear that they have character, they have talent, and they have belief.
I do appreciate you reminding me of that game. That's when we made a lot of strange decisions in the Super Over as well.
Oh gosh,
maybe we should have won it before he got there, but still.
Yeah.
I still just to add to what you said to finish up. I still fancy Bangladesh to win at least a game.
Yeah, I forgot about Bangladesh. I feel
as though it will be a case where it'll be tight until the end.
For sure.
Apart from India, I think India will probably fight with some games to spare.
I think so as well. I think New Zealand play Afghanistan tomorrow. I think the difference between New Zealand and England, I don't expect New Zealand to make the same mistakes England did. I think New Zealand will probably play their spinners better. But I don't know what was the issue with Kane Williams. I think he got injured again, which sucks for them.
Fractured his stomach.
Fractured stomach. That's so unfortunate. But I really do. I can't believe I forgot Bangladesh. But Bangladesh also have quality players. I think this World Cup is wide open. So even though England and Australia have not had good starts, I still think that they're not out of it yet, because I think New Zealand will drop a game. South Africa may drop another one. Pakistan will definitely drop another one. So I stick to my prediction for last week. I think that 4th place team and that 5th place team will only be separated on net run rate. Definitely. So I think it's, even though a lot of the games have been one-sided, I've enjoyed it because you go into games thinking, yeah, this is going to be a good game. So, yeah.
You know why you've enjoyed it? Let me tell you what you've enjoyed. What you have
I already know what you're going to say, but you go ahead.
Because it's the truth. Your beloved West Indies are not there. So you have no issue to grow gray hair and work yourself into a frenzy.
Honestly, it's just...
That's number one.
I love cricket so much, I don't even need West Indies to be present. Right. It's almost better for my mental health. So you could just go in the game, You ain't got a particular horse, even though my personal preference to win would be New Zealand or South Africa. But you ain't got a horse. You ain't got to worry about somebody doing nonsense that you got to come on your podcast and rant and rave about. It's just, I would like West Indies to be there, but like we said earlier, West Indies would have probably struggled in this tournament.
They would have struggled. I think what's worrying for me, but I guess, now that you have me back in the cricket headspace, I suppose, we'll pay attention to West Indies when they have, limited over series and see how they're doing in the next couple years.
Will we?
We should. We need to. Because if the ICC keeps this format, where it's just 10 teams, 10 best teams, and you have a qualifier to get in, I worry that we might not see the West Indies in the World Cup until we're hosting again.
True. Because you look at teams like Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe have a good side. They missed out.
They beat us.
Yeah. Ireland.
They could beat us too.
Yep. Scotland have beaten us.
Yeah.
They may beat me in the qualifiers too.
I can't remember.
I
think we won that game. I think we beat Scotland. Did we?
I can't remember.
I can't remember. So long ago.
We lost a lot of games.
Old age though. But yeah.
We lost a lot of games in that qualifier though.
Yeah. So and I think, because I like the fact that it's the 10 best teams and it means that the level is really high.
Yeah.
And my thing is that if you keep it like that, because remember that Netherlands, Sri Lanka, and those are two teams that qualified again. Right? So it means then that, and the associate teams, as we can see, are getting better.
Interesting about Afghanistan. I heard them say Afghanistan have only been playing cricket for 14 years, which means they started when we were teenagers and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Afghanistan. I don't know if we have a series coming out against them, but honestly, and it's obvious because they're ahead of us in the world rankings, they qualify automatically. But Afghanistan are a much better side than the West Indies. If Afghanistan beating England is an upset. If Afghanistan had to beat West Indies, it wouldn't be an upset. Because for me, they're a better one-day side. They have better players, better batters, definitely better bowlers. So Afghanistan are a side on the up. I don't know where West Indies are. Definitely not a side on the up.
The thing is that, right, because this is the thing. It'll be hard, unless it's a country that has never beaten us in a competitive game so far.
It's not upset. That what you gonna say?
I was gonna say that, but I wasn't gonna make it sound that bad.
Oh gosh.
Damn. But
Cheers.
yeah, I feel like we get to that stage now where,
it's standard.
Yeah, because we have to qualify to get in the tournament.
Yeah.
We've in most of the formats, whether it be T20, Test, or one day.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time we were above if.
Yeah.
In a world test ranking or any sort of ranking. So, and we've been there for a while, let's say last decade.
Yeah.
Or more. So it's getting to a stage now where we are seen as just on par with the Irelands and Netherlands and the Bangladesh and the whoever, Zimbabwe of this world. So
it's
I would like us to improve, but I know.
Exactly. It's likely that we only playing in next year T20 World Cup because we hosting it.
Hosting it, yeah.
Sad. We can go though, right? We can still go and watch them. Yeah.
I going.
If the final at Kensington, we there. No matter who playing.
Exactly, I going. We won't be playing, but I going. So we will go and we will enjoy the cricket.
Look, we are too mean to the West Indies. But rightfully so. They deserve some tough love.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that brings us to another episode. Time is really flying, Well, that brings us to the end of another episode of the Dugout. You can follow us at our handle, the Dugout_podcast.
I was here looking for it just
to
now.
be reminded. I remembered. Marissa Simone 91.
Drew 9106.
Spirit Light Studios. Whole Health Pharmacy. I don't have my Tumblr today because sorry about that, but y'all remember what it looks like. You would have seen the ad earlier. All that they sell. So we've had a really good episode, and do join us again next week to see how our respective derbies, I was gonna say to see how our respective derbies turn out, but I pretty much convinced that both of them are foregone conclusions. So anyways, we'll see next week. We'll see if I'll be in tears, crying my eyes out, or rather coming saying blue is the color, football is the game.
Please don't.
We're all together and winning is our aim. So cheer us on through the sun and rain. Cause what? Chelsea is our name.
That embarrassing yourself now?
I didn't say it. I taught it. If I had sung it, it would have been more embarrassing.
Nonetheless. See you again next week.
This program was brought to you by Spirit Led Studios, the sound of life.